I'm back, y'all. Cooking with Dr. T. Now I got those smoked jerked turkey wings and legs in the oven. Now I promise you I will show you how to make that turkey gravy to suck up with that jerk. But this is my take on a jerk smoked turkey wing and leg gravy. So what you're going to use, yes, I have got it. It is the gravy in the bag. But I'm going to kick it up. Because I also want to make sure that while you're cooking this, is what you have at home. So, not hard to make gravy. That's another episode. But for this episode, we're just going to do this. It's 1 thing turkey gravy and 1 thing of brown gravy. You have butter. This is about 1/4 cup of flour. I will not use all that flour. Then you have green seasoning. My Jamaicans know about the green seasoning. We're going to add that as well to knock it up. Then we have the liquid smoke. We're following that same flavor profile throughout of the smokiness of a jerk turkey wing. Now we have, once again, told you, if you ain't got it, run go get it. And then, of course, a little 10th century Creole sauce. Creole, if you use this, do not use salt. A lot of these have a lot of sodium in them. So I try to use, if I use this, I don't use salt. But I also don't want to use a little pepper because this has a little red pepper undertone to it. And then, of course, we have our butter. So, and then here, I've already sliced up a whole onion here. So what we're going to do is we got a pot. We're going to start the pot. Okay, so now I have about 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to go over to our stove. And we're going to melt that butter inside. We're going to get the butter melted. Now we're going to add our onions. Now, I usually do better about getting those onions to that table. So what we're going to do, take a cutting board. And for me, I always have a towel underneath the cutting board just to give it a little more stability. Because this is for onions. We're going to put that in there. And remember, this is for that smother gravy that we're going to slather on top of that. And that pot back there is for my mac and cheese is coming later. So, as we work on that, we got some technical difficulties, you know. Sometimes, you know, when you getting free help, you can't be picky, you know. You can't be picky. You just got to kind of accept what you got and thank God for it, right? Praise Jesus. Praise Peter Slaying. So I'm going to get those onions all up in that butter there. Okay. And no, I didn't cry while I was cutting these onions. I think about how good it was going to be in my tummy. See, as I'm cutting them, they're actually coming into ringlets. We can spread the love. So, now that we have that in there, the next thing I want to add is my green seasoning. And we're going to add about 1/4 tablespoon of that. You know, for me, I'm going to add a little bit more. For you, 1/4 tablespoon. And of course, I don't want to cross-contaminate. Now this is mild. We don't need a lot. So just bump up the flavor a little bit. So that's about 1/8 a tablespoon. Then we're going to add our liquid smoke. Remember, we want to follow that profile. So I would say that is about a teaspoon. Now we're going to stir that around. Oh, you can smell it, baby. You can smell it up in there. One reason I start cooking and catering is for, I love food. But I love to have people enjoy it. And I started cooking way back when I worked at a university. and I worked with the Black Greeks there, NPHC. Shout out to Divine Nine. And they oftentimes wanted to have events, and the town they were in, it wasn't any soul food restaurants. And I think soul food is comfort food. And we're always wanting people like, well, soul food is comfort food. No, it's us as we know it as African American people. We already know what we mean by soul food, right? And we know it's good to the soul. And that's why I wanted to give those students, and they didn't have very much money, so I'm adding both packages of flour in here, right? And you notice that I'm stirring it around even in these onions. I'm going to tell you why. Because see how it kind of got all flipped like that? We're going to add some water to that. This is about a cup and a half of water. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stir that in as I go. I want that gravy to be smooth. See, I'm not rushing it. Just rub it in. Yes, right. Getting it up in there, right? Not rushing. Okay. So right now we're going to keep adding the water. So we're going to keep adding the water. See how that's thickening it up? You can smell through this foam, baby. If you can smell through it, sweetie, you'll see what I'm talking about up in here. We're going to add another, some more water. You want that gravy smooth. You want that gravy smooth. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to add the black pepper. I should have measured it out. I'm sorry, I didn't. It's about 1 teaspoon. I have not added any salt to this yet. So we're going to taste it. That green seasoning and that jerk seasoning gives a really good flavor. So now I'm going to add my salt, my Creole seasoning, because I'm not adding salt, remember. Okay, that's where the money's at, right there. We're going to add a little bit more water, another half a cup of water. Remember, it's slow. I'm not just going to dump it in because I wanted to come in smooth. Okay, so now we'll let that simmer. Remember, it's going to simmer while it's on the turkey as well. All right, you all, time we've been waiting for. We uncovered the smoked jerk turkey wings that we did inside of our oven. See how they look nice and crisp right there. So we're gonna lay this in our other pan. Cause remember I said we're gonna knock this up a notch, right, Hunty? We're going to smother them now. Now they're done. And all we're going to do is put this gravy in there, baby. So it can get up in there and get some more flavor. Right? I had a video of how I make the gravy. Feel free to visit it. So now I got those. Ooh, they look good to me. So now we got that going. So we're going to take this turkey gravy. See that? Onions and all that good flavor. We're gonna just lay that on right like that. Yeah, baby. We just gonna lay it like that, honey. Just get all them onions. We're gonna distribute them onions all everywhere so they can get up in there, right? Now we have that going. And see, I didn't need to put too much liquid because you don't want them to be floating liquid because then they toughen up on you. So now we have that. We're going to now put a lid on it. And what I like to do sometimes is take oil that I used already and just cover it so I can make sure that that roaster pan is not letting any air in there, right? Because that's really going to let the juice and the pan gravy get in them turkey legs. Okay. Because one thing about smoked meat, sometimes it can be drying to the meat. So that's why you want to put a little sauce when you do these smoked turkey legs. Okay. So they're going to go in the oven. So I put that lid right on there and rested it. They're going to go in the oven. Give it a little shake, route it and roll. So make sure you distribute it. And they're going to smother in there at 350 for another 20 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer and let it go.